We are good to go.
All right. This is Dr. Manny St. Victor. I'm a board certified hypnotist, Paul Ramsey. And today we're going to talk about hypnosis safety.
We want people to be safe, Manny.
Yeah, we do.
Important.
Safety is important. You know, it's not the most exciting.
Not the sexiest topic, right? I know. It's not.
Until something goes bad.
Well, you know, here's what happens is there's so much, because of the way that it's portrayed in movies and on TV shows, there's a lot of nervousness around it. And then you get media articles that really make a big deal out of small incidents where the incidents seem bigger than they are because people don't understand hypnosis. So, like, there was an incident probably 2 years ago up in Canada where this stage hypnotist was doing a show at a private school. And a whole bunch of the students got stuck in hypnosis, and he couldn't get them out.
Okay.
And it, freaked out the staff and freaked out, the kids that weren't hypnotized were watching the kids, and everyone got freaked out, and it made national news. Well, you can't get stuck in hypnosis.
Yeah.
But that's the way it got reported. The reality is those students chose to stay in trance because either it felt good or because they were getting attention or some other kind of intrinsic motivator.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, that's a choice. You can't get stuck in hypnosis. It's brain activity that you go through every day. Like if you had found the right way to frame it, and if everyone had been chill, you would have been able to just been like, get them right out. But everyone got nervous and panicked, and there's a level of transference there, right? When all the nervous energy starts to build in the room, and it got worse and worse and worse. And next thing you know, kids are being taken to the hospital as if a doctor can somehow give them a magic shot or pill to get them out of hypnosis.
Yeah.
They had an incident like that in I think it was Colombia a few years ago, where a guy who was primarily a magician but had also done some training in hypnosis is at I don't remember what he was at, but he was at some kind of event where the same thing happens. All these young people get hypnotized. Everybody panics. They end up taking all these kids to the hospital, and the parents are being called to the hospital. It was just a big panic scene, and it doesn't need to happen. It's a natural state of brain activity.
Yeah.
Like daydreaming. Like, you don't gotta panic about it. So there's stuff like that, and that's all it takes is one story like that to get reported in the news, and then people are talking about it around the water cooler and on websites and stuff, and it leaves an impression with people.
Yeah.
So when people ask me, is hypnosis safe, what I generally say is hypnosis is as safe as life is. Like, anything that can happen to you in life can happen to you in hypnosis. So, you could have a heart attack in hypnosis because people have heart attacks. Like,
hypnosis.
But you can't. But don't blame the hypnosis for that. Like, you happen to have a heart attack while you were in hypnosis. It's not the hypnosis that did it. If you're in a stage show, sometimes people dance, sometimes people move around on stage. You could trip and fall.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, usually in a lot of theaters, all of the light is directed at the stage, and the house lights are down during the show. Yeah. So if you're not paying attention, you can walk right off the stage. You can miss where that line is. I've been at other kinds of shows where I've seen people, not hypnosis shows, where I've seen people who aren't hypnotized do that.
Yeah.
Blame the hypnosis. Do that while you're in hypnosis too. But if it happens, people blame the hypnosis because they want to blame something, right? Yeah. So, if you're doing hypnosis at home, let's say you put on a recording at home, if you have, like, food in the oven, you should not be doing hypnosis. One, if you got bacon on the stove, and you don't, you end up having a grease fire because when you do get into hypnosis, you get really focused.
Yeah.
Feel really nice. Well, if you feel really nice and you're relaxed and peaceful, you might want to stay in that state, and you may not. You may just sort of forget, and there can be a little bit of time distortion as well. So you might feel like you were only hypnotized for 5 minutes, and then you were really hypnotized for half an hour, and the bacon has burned and the grease is on fire and your kitchen's on fire. So you should only do hypnosis when you can give it your full attention. That's one of the safety rules that I think is important. You shouldn't be doing hypnosis if the kids need supervision and the kids are running around the house. Then you shouldn't be doing hypnosis right now, because you want to be able to keep an eye on your kids for their safety. But hypnosis itself is a safe, natural state of brain activity. So, Manny, tell me, if you know the term, tell me what an abreaction is.
An abreaction.
I didn't know if you would have talked about abreactions in your psych training. I don't know how much they happen outside of hypnosis.
I have not heard of that term.
Not heard of that? Okay. So here's the thing where, again, you could think that this is a danger, but it's not. When people, let's say you want to relax, and so you go and you somehow lay your hands on one of my relaxation products, which happens to use guided visual imagery of being at the ocean, and there's ocean sounds in the background and seagulls, right? There's seagulls and waves, and it's very relaxing. Well, for most people, that's tremendously relaxing. But what if, when you were 3 and you were at the beach with your family, you got knocked down by a wave because you were so little and you almost drowned at the ocean?
Yeah, that's relaxing.
Right?
Yeah.
An abreaction is when you go into hypnosis and something about the experience brings you back to a real memory, and you don't just remember it, you revivify it. You actually climb into the memory and you live it in real time again.
Okay.
So for a person, so then the abreaction is the negative emotional release that occurs from having that experience.
Okay.
So, again, I have an audio recording that's like rain. It's the most beautiful. It starts out soft, and it builds until there's actually thunder and lightning, and then that passes, and it comes down again and ends. There's birds and frogs, and I think it's beautiful. But if you're one of the rare people who got struck by lightning, like, that could cause an abreaction. So, getting into state, you have that abreaction. There's a negative emotional release that occurs.
Yeah.
But it can't hurt you. It can't kill you. It can't, it can't break you inside.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, abreactions give people an opportunity to vent that negative stuff and sort of release it and let it go. But they're very uncomfortable to watch. And so when people who are not well trained in hypnosis unknowingly inspire an abreaction in someone, they tend to freak out, and then everyone who's watching freaks out, and there's a good chance that people are going to leave that event feeling like hypnosis is creepy and dark and scary and not good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but again, that's a perception issue. That's not an actual safety issue. So if you want to get down to the real, like, how do you make sure you're safe when you do hypnosis? First of all, you put yourself in an environment that's safe. Like I said, you don't have food cooking on the stove, and you don't have, like, you're not doing it, you don't listen to hypnosis audios in your car while you're driving your car, because you'll get spacey and trancy and you might not be paying attention to driving. So you make sure that you do hypnosis in an environment that is appropriate and safe for you to have that experience.
Yeah.
If you're on a stage, if you're going to volunteer to be in a stage show, as a sort of a consumer, I would say you want to make sure that you feel good about the space that that stage show is in. A good stage hypnotist should make sure that there's no like wires running all over the stage. If there's wires, they should be taped down so people don't trip on them. If there's some kind of damage to like the stairs that go up to the stage or the stage itself, they should be having whoever runs the venue fix that before they do the show, or they should find a way to take care of that. Like I've been at places before where there's like stairs on either side, and like one of the wooden planks on the stairs was broke, and I was like, you need to rope that off, and no one uses those stairs.
Yeah.
You take care of it. You make sure no one's going near it.
Yeah.
But you also, if you're thinking that you might volunteer to be in a stage show, you should sort of do a little for your own sake. Like, don't put your safety completely in the hands of someone else. Like, make sure that when I do a show, I've got the venue has to provide chairs. I go through and I press on all the chairs to make sure that there isn't a busted chair somewhere. Even plastic molded chairs, sometimes they'll crack, right?
Yeah.
And they seem fine when no one's sitting in them, but if someone sits in them, now the weight makes the crack open.
Yeah.
And then as they shift, that crack could close up and they could get pinched. And they could get pinched in a situation like that. They could get pinched to the point where it actually breaks the skin or scrapes them or something.
Yeah.
So, you look for things like that. But again, see, that's not hypnosis, right? That's not hypnosis is not the issue. It's the environmental things. If you're doing hypnosis at home and you're going to just relax on the couch, not so much a safety thing necessarily, unless something really weird happened. But I would say you should always make sure you have proper neck and head support. If you want to lay on the couch, make sure you got a pillow under your head and your neck, because as you get very relaxed and your neck gets more and more relaxed, you're not going to want to hold your head up anymore, and stuff's going to start rolling around, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't want to get a crick in your neck. You don't want to strain your neck. So I always say, if you've got a lazy boy, maybe lean it back so that you've got good head and neck support, or if you're on the couch, prop yourself up in a way that feels well supported with a pillow, a cushion. If you're going to lay on a bed, use a pillow, stuff like that.
One thing we recommend during mindfulness exercises also is no food or gum.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, as you get more and more relaxed, you don't want to have some piece of food or gum finding its way back and going. I always say in my stage show, before I let students come up at the colleges, I go, all right, before you come up, no food, gum, or candy in your mouth, because your neck's going to get really relaxed. And sometimes when you're at colleges, they have to get hypnotized sitting upright, right? And so I say, and as your neck gets really relaxed, your head's going to get heavy. Some people naturally let it go forward, but some let it go back, and I don't want anything to fall down your throat. And I take a little pause and I go, I'm telling you, this show is way more fun if you don't choke to death during it. And I get a little laugh out of them. But it's serious, though. I try to make it funny because I don't want people to freak out. But it is, we want people to be safe. So, that's pretty much it. I think you control your environment, and you make sure, again, for folks who watch this, if you're going to go to a consulting hypnotist, again, you may hear, if you really start looking around, you're going to find a news story somewhere about a hypnotist who has touched people inappropriately. Just like you're going to hear news stories about doctors and dentists and chiropractors who have touched people inappropriately. Like, you need to, as a consumer, put yourself in the, you can't know everything, but you want to make sure that you've asked questions. Who is this hypnotist? What are their credentials? How long have they been practicing? Are they still in good standing with whatever professional organization they belong to? You want to ask those kinds of questions, and you want to make sure that you feel comfortable with that person. And if you don't feel comfortable, then you shouldn't go there. You should find someone else. Yeah. Because if you don't feel comfortable, you're probably not going to get hypnotized anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Wasting your time.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have good rapport with people. You gotta feel like they're gonna take good care of you, and that they're gonna put you in a safe place in their office. And even if, because I tour so much, I don't have a public office. I have a home office, but I have a space set aside in my home for that work. I don't be like, hey, just lay down on my couch. Like,
Yeah.
I have an office set up with a chair for that stuff, and so we want people to feel comfortable, and I always have a blanket, and I tell people, whether they're men or women, I say, sometimes people just feel better if they're covered with a blanket. And
Yeah.
if you'd like to, you can take this blanket and cover yourself with it. And just doing that for a lot of people puts them more at ease.
Yeah.
You should feel safe, and you should literally be safe. And if for some reason you don't feel like you're safe, just don't go there. Get out. So
Yeah.
say, I don't think this is for me, and just head on. So
Absolutely. Trust your instincts.
yeah, yeah. And you can, you should get, if you're going to see a consulting hypnotist, you should get some kind of a client bill of rights that tells you what their credentials are, where they trained, are they licensed to do therapy? Are they not? Like, I'm not licensed to do therapy. I don't do therapy with people. I do coaching. I do change work, habit management. I have a scope of practice. And so if people come to me and they say, Paul, I have clinical depression and I really want to, I say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You're going to have to go find a licensed counselor or a licensed therapist who can use hypnosis to help you, work on your depression.
Yeah.
I can help you get motivated. I can help you get more focused. I can help you be more confident. I can help you lose weight, quit smoking, but I can't treat people. I don't diagnose people. I don't treat people. That's for doctors.
Yeah.
And you will find, and that should be a flag for you, when you talk with a hypnotist, if they keep using words like, I cured this, I had a client who I cured of this, or if they're saying patient, if they say, I have a patient that I cured of this, and they're not a doctor, that should be a red flag to you. Hypnotists don't treat people. They don't cure people. That's what doctors do. So that's always, and I meet people, I know they mean well, but I meet some people sometimes who do that. And I'm like, that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Words matter.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that's pretty much it.
Cool. I feel safer already.
All right, then I'm happy.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
All right, thanks, Manny.
I'm Dr. Manny St. Victor.
I'm Paul Ramsey.
Good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.